it's time for part 3 and probably the final part of my 2023 Oktoberfest Festbier reviews of American versions of the Oktoberfest lagers. Great time of year when all of these beers come into the supermarkets or the grocery stores, and I went to my local Trader Joe's, then I went to my local Total Wine to pick up some of the American brewed versions and just to compare them kind of side by side. The first 2 videos have had a couple of clear winners. The first video was the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest, and I rated that at a 3.8 out of 5. And then the Karl Strauss was the winner in video 2. Also gave that a 3.8 out of 5. And so far, I've kind of done the more mainstream brands, let's say, of the Oktoberfests. And today we've got a little bit more crafty, let's say, with some of the smaller breweries and their versions of Oktoberfest or Fest lagers. So left to right, or right to left, I have the Alesmith or Alesmith Oktoberfest German style Marzen lager. Alesmith from San Diego in Southern California. Then we have the Smog Oktoberfest from Smog City in Torrance in LA County, also Southern California. And we have from Colorado, we have the Left Hand Brewing Oktoberfest Marzen Lager. Strength-wise, I'm going to go my left to right. The Alesmith comes in at 5.5% ABV. The Smog City is also 5.5% ABV. And the left hand is a little bit stronger, and that comes in at 6.6% ABV. So kind of at the top end of the Marzen kind of Fest beer strength range. So let's get these out. Very much looking forward to trying some of the craft versions of the Oktoberfest lagers, just to put them up against the kind of those more mainstream beers. I would assume that these are going to be of a higher standard than what I had in the previous videos, but you just never know, right? So there's the Smog City. I'll just arrange my glasses in a minute so we can see the beers a little bit better next to each other. And the left hand. So there are my 3 beers. So straight off the bat, I have probably the slightly lighter beer, although very similar in color. I have the Alesmith and the Smog City, and slightly darker, the Left Hand Brewing. The Smog City beer has quite a fluffy, foamy white head on the top. The Alesmith doesn't have much of a head at all, and the Left Hand is kind of in the middle somewhere. So there's a quick look at the Alesmith beer. Touch of carbonation there, kind of streaming up the glass. It's a pretty clear beer, bit of condensation on the glass there. The beers are pretty much straight out of the fridge and nice and cold. The Smog City, again, rub off some of that condensation, but it is a hazier beer. Again, nice streaming carbonation there, although you can't see it too much because of the haze. And then the Left Hand, again, a clear beer, but slightly darker, kind of caramelly looking, light amber colored beer. Aroma wise, yeah, the Alesmith has that touch of caramel, touch of honey maybe, clean. Yeah, smells like a like a light caramel, um, clean lager. The Smog City, that's actually got quite a different aroma to it. That's got a lot more kind of floral hop. It's still got that clean lager character. It has a little bit of that floral, maybe a little bit of fruitiness to it as well. The sweetness is less pronounced on that one. It's not as caramelly. And then the left hand still has toffee and biscuit. Touch of kind of floral hop aroma there as well. I was expecting, with this being a darker beer, for that to be the most kind of toffee caramel aroma, but that's got a bit of hop presence as well. So the Alesmith, interestingly, is the much more pronounced sweetness, which is kind of interesting. It was the lighter beer, it's the lower ABV, and I was just that's kind of taken me aback a little bit. But yeah, that's yeah, some biscuit and caramel. Let's jump in and see what we like. Really clean, really fresh, not too sweet, which is was kind of a worry. It's got that nice caramel grain, a little bit of honey. It's nice and cold, so that sweetness doesn't come through too much. Really balanced, nice, easy drinking beer. The Smog City, from the aroma, I wouldn't say I was necessarily going to be drinking a kind of Marzen Oktoberfest style beer here. Interestingly, they've called it a festival lager, and I wonder if it is a kind of a bit of a hybrid going on. Only one way to find out, right? Yeah, that's got some fruitiness about it, some floral hop characters. There's almost some berry fruit in that, which is really nice. It's just a little bit unexpected in a fest beer, maybe. There's some yeast character and some hop character there. Really nice, flavorful beer, balanced, touch of bitterness. Yeah, really nice beer, smooth, creamy mouthfeel. And the left hand. That's also got that touch of kind of candied orange, toffee, a little bit of floral, bit of citrus hop there as well. These are all, in different ways, very delicious beers. It's going to be difficult to necessarily pick out my preference here. think the Alesmith for me is probably closest to what I was expecting with a Festbier. The left hand's got a nice touch of bitterness on the back end. You kind of notice that when you put the two beers back to back. And the Smogtoberfest is a really, really drinkable, crushable beer. The left hand reminds me a little bit of the character of, I think it was the Trader Joe's own brand and the Shiner Oktoberfest. Not in those two had a little bit of kind of metallic and touch of astringency, astringency to them. This goes along that kind of flavor profile, but doesn't have it doesn't have that kind of metallic character, but it's along the lines of the flavor profile that I got from those two. So I think from a preference point of view, I'm going to say the left hand is probably in third place for me, but I'm going to give that a very solid 3.6 out of 5. Very, very solid beer, very nice beer. And now, I like both of the Smog City and the Alesmith for different reasons. But I'm going to say for a Oktoberfest, for a Marzen beer, the Alesmith kind of hits the mark for me. I'm going to give that the Alesmith Oktoberfest drinkable, crushable, 5.5% ABV, not too sweet, had nice caramel on the nose, but doesn't come across too sweet on the palate. Could literally drink that all day. I'm going to give the Alesmith Oktoberfest a 3.9 out of 5. And for the Smog City, Smogtoberfest, I really like it, but it's not quite a Marzen for me. That's a 3.7 out of 5. So, left to right as you look, 3.6 out of 5 for the left hand, 3.7 out of 5 for the Smog City, and 3.9 out of 5 for the Alesmith, which means that over my 3 videos, I can now give you a top 3 Oktoberfest beers that I was able to get from my local grocery stores. And they would be, in third place, we had Karl Strauss Oktoberfest. In second was the Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest. And first, for me, is the Alesmith Oktoberfest, a really delightful, crushable Oktoberfest lager. And I am going to be going out and finding a 6-pack, and I'm going to be enjoying that this weekend as I sit back and drink away the week that has been. So, as always, hope you like the video. Give us a comment. Let us know in the comments which are your favourite Oktoberfest beers that you've had this year. Do you agree with me? Have you had the Alesmith? What do you think of it? Could Sierra Nevada quite have been kind of up there? I know that's a super popular one. Smog City probably can't get that, you know, far outside the kind of LA area. So unlikely that if you're not from Southern California, you've had that. kind of interested to see what people think about that, because I really like that beer. I just don't think it necessarily hits the mark as an Oktoberfest, but I could happily drink that again. That's another one I could drink all day. And if you're from Colorado and you've got you like your left hand beers, what do you think of this one? So again, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. Every subscriber makes a difference, and we'll much appreciate your support. And give us a comment. And I will see you next time with British Guy Reviews American Beer. Cheers, everyone.